All right, and welcome back. And today we are talking about The Running Man. And before we get into that, I just want to thank my subscribers for everything. You guys are the best. I appreciate all of you. And I will list some of you on the screen here, those that I can at least see who are public. I appreciate you guys, whether you just sub, watch, like, comment, whatever you do. It's always greatly appreciated. And also let me know in the comments what you're reading, what you're watching, and what you're gaming, because maybe I'd like to take a look at it and see if it's anything I might want to play, read, watch, whatever. Maybe look into it, explore my mind. But anyway, let's get into The Running Man. So, The Running Man, the 2025 Edgar Wright movie, it let me down. I will say, this is not what I was expecting it to be, and Edgar Wright kind of let me down in this movie, and I'm kind of sad to see that, because the last couple he's done has been kind of letdowns. They have not been up to the standard, and maybe we just hold him up too high to a standard because he's made so many great movies, and now he's kind of, almost feels like he kind of gave up. It doesn't feel like he's putting that Edgar Wright touch on it. So, The Running Man. This one is definitely different than the original. This one is same character, Ben Richards, played by Glen Powell, is trying to do whatever he can to help his sick daughter, whether it's go begging for his old job back, ends up realizing that he can't get that job back, ends up seeing some game shows that he writes down how much money people have won, and ends up going down to the media tower to train and, get an audition, basically. And his wife is telling him, don't go out for the Running Man. Obviously, like, anybody who does it never comes back, and he's like, I don't plan on doing it. I'm going to do one of the other shows. But because he is at physical peak, obviously he gets chosen for the Running Man, and as much as against his better judgment, he doesn't want to do it. He ends up, ends up succumbing to his ambitions and wanting to help his family get out of the dumps, and ends up saying, yes, I will do it, and ends up signing up for it. So, obviously ends up running for his life, trying to escape, not getting killed, while him and two other people are doing the exact same thing, and ends up him basically running all over the damn world just trying to avoid getting killed. He even ends up going to Derry, Maine at one point, which right there tells you this is a Stephen King book, because it ends up always back into Maine. The only thing we were missing was a writer who basically was one of the characters, which, I guess you could say Michael Cera was, but I wouldn't 100% say that. But yes, kind of simple, nothing crazy of a story, but unfortunately, I don't really have much positives. After I've sat back and thought about it, and after I've rewatched the original, I feel like a lot was missing here, and it just didn't hit the mark. Some of the pros, I did like some of the action. Some of the action did look good. Some of it was done really well. But I don't know. I guess one minor pro could be I liked some of the jokes, especially Michael Cera's whole shtick. I enjoyed him in the movie. Glen Powell obviously has some good moments in there, but other than that, there really isn't much in here for pros, unfortunately, and it kills me to say that because I am an Edgar Wright fan. I love his movies. I will go out and see any of his movies because I enjoy seeing his movies. I grew up basically watching the Cornetto trilogy, and I lived off of that for so long. So to kind of see this now where he's just kind of dropped off, it kills me. It sucks to see one of my favorite directors not doing as good of a job as we know he can, and I don't know if that's a lack of motivation or just doesn't care and just is taking a paycheck now. Like, I don't know, but it definitely felt like something was missing, and that's one of my cons, is it's missing the Edgar touch. It doesn't feel like this was really an Edgar Wright movie. Yes, there were some things that you could tell was an Edgar Wright part of it, but overall it just felt like it was missing something. And with that going on, it also makes the runtime feel a lot longer than it is too, because now I'm not enjoying it as much. Like, comparing it to Predator Badlands, which I saw, that I'd say they were about the same length, maybe about 2 hours-ish, but Predator felt a lot shorter than it did. Meanwhile, this movie, it felt like its runtime, and that's never a good thing when it's like, okay, well, what's the next thing? Like, it didn't feel like a lot of things were happening, where I feel like in Edgar Wright movies, even in what are the boring parts of movies, still are entertaining because of how he does it all. And in this, it just feels like something's missing. And then a confusing tone. Like, it felt like people were in a different movie. People didn't know what movie they were in, didn't know what kind of theme they were going with. I mean, at times it felt like it was a very action comedy movie, and then it felt like a straight serious comedy, or a straight series action. And then we get, you know, the whole disrupting the whole system and everything. Like, it was just so many different things. And then Glen Powell goes from being a guy who's trying to do this for his family, and then he's fuck the system, fuck the government, and then he's helping them be a rebellion for these people, and then he doesn't want to do that, so then he fights going back, and like, it's just all over the place. He's an angry fucking person, then he's a caring person. Like, he feels like every generic action hero, where he's this badass who fucking hates everything and is angry all the time and is in peak shape of kicking everyone's ass, but will still save people. Like, it just felt all over the fucking place. And I feel like if it was more like a Hot Fuzz, like, where it was a comedy action, it would have worked a little bit better for me. But in this one, it just felt like it was all over the place. Michael Cera felt like he was kind of out of here with the comedy clips that he was doing and the serious tone of this. And then we get certain action scenes where people are joking, and then it's like, okay, am I supposed to take this serious? Like, I don't really know what's going on here. And then also wasted talent. Like, you have Michael Cera in here, and he's only in the movie for maybe 5-10 minutes, maybe, if that. You got William H. Macy, who's hardly in the movie, maybe less than 5 minutes of screen time in this movie, and then that's it. You don't see him for the rest of the movie. He doesn't come up and doesn't help him in the rest of the movie. His wife, you hardly see her. She's in like the first and the ending of the movie, essentially. And then we get like a random character in towards the end of the movie with this girl who she feels like she's more of an important character than Glen Powell's wife. Like, it just felt like there was a lot of people here who were wasted. The hunters felt like they were just generic freaking henchmen. Like, you could have easily swapped them out with any goons from John Wick and it wouldn't have made a difference at all. I don't know. It just didn't, it felt like a plain action movie, you know? It didn't feel like anything else. I mean, I still enjoyed it for what it was, but it wasn't anything special. And out of all the Stephen King properties we have gotten this year, this one is definitely not one of the better ones, unfortunately. It definitely is at the bottom. And I haven't seen, like, I've seen Life of Chuck, The Long Walk. I haven't seen The Monkey, but I would still put it fourth out of that list that I have right there. And that's unfortunate, but I mean, overall, I gotta give this movie a high D+. Like, it was hard for me to think of any positives for this movie, and as much as it sucks, because I think Glen Powell can do comedy really well, and obviously he's built to do action, and Edgar Wright is a great director, it just felt like something was missing here, and it didn't feel like, it almost felt like the love wasn't into this. It was almost like this was done for the paycheck, and that really sucks to hear that. You know, coming from an Edgar Wright movie, it felt very generic when none of his movies ever feel generic, so that's kind of rough for me to say, but that's all my thoughts. What are your thoughts on the movie? Did you enjoy it? And if you did, let me know what you enjoyed about it, so maybe next time when I rewatch it, I could go back in there and see him like, okay, now I can see what they're talking about. Maybe I can get some new enjoyment out of it, out of getting a new perspective. But let me know in the comments what you guys all thought about it. And until the next video, I will see you later.